You think the problem is out there. Politics, economics, global systems, enemies. That's what you've been told. That's what you've been conditioned to believe. But what if the real reason the Ummah is weak today has nothing to do with them? What if the problem is much closer, uncomfortable, but necessary? Because blaming the outside is easy. Fixing what's inside, that's where things change. Right now, there are over 1 billion Muslims in the world. Numbers aren't the issue. Resources aren't the issue. History proves that. There was a time when a much smaller group, with far less wealth, with far less power, led the world. Not just in strength, in justice, in discipline, in clarity. So what changed? It wasn't numbers. It wasn't opportunity. It was identity. Because strength doesn't come from how many you are. It comes from who you are. And somewhere along the way, that identity started to fade, slowly, quietly, unnoticed, not all at once, but piece by piece. You stopped seeing Islam as a system to live by and started treating it like a label, something you identify with, but don't fully commit to. And that shift changed everything. Because once Islam becomes cultural instead of intentional, it loses its power. Look at the early Muslims. They didn't just believe. They lived it. Every command was taken seriously. Every action was intentional. There was discipline. There was sacrifice. There was clarity. Now compare that to today. How many people pray but rush through it? How many know what's right but delay it? How many say they trust Allah but panic over everything? That gap between belief and action is where weakness begins. Because strength is not built on claims, it's built on consistency. And consistency requires discipline, but discipline is exactly what's missing. You live in a time where distraction is constant, your attention is under attack. Every second, something is pulling you away, your phone, your feed, your entertainment, and slowly, you lose focus, not just in life, in your deen. Because the more distracted you are, the less aware you become, and awareness is the foundation of strength. Without it, you drift. From purpose to impulse, from clarity to confusion. And that's exactly where most people are, lost in noise, reacting instead of leading, consuming instead of building. And here's the deeper issue. You've become comfortable. Comfortable with weakness, comfortable with inconsistency, comfortable with doing the bare minimum, because everyone around you is doing the same. So it feels normal. But normal is exactly the problem. Because the standard has dropped. What used to be unacceptable is now tolerated. What used to require discipline is now optional. And over time, that creates a generation that knows the truth, but doesn't live it. And knowledge without action doesn't strengthen you, it weakens you, because it creates guilt without change. And that cycle repeats over and over until you become used to it, numb to it. And that's when real decline begins, not when you don't know, but when you know and still don't act. But here's the part most people ignore. Weakness is not permanent. It's a condition, and conditions can change, but only when responsibility shifts from them to you. Because the Ummah is not separate from you. You are part of it. So when you say, the Ummah is weak, what you're really saying is, we are weak. And that means the solution starts with you, not globally, personally. Fix your salat, not perfectly, consistently. Control your time, not completely, intentionally. Reduce distraction, increase focus, build discipline, even if it's small, because strength doesn't return all at once. It builds, one person at a time, one habit at a time, one decision at a time. And if enough people take that seriously, everything changes. But if everyone keeps waiting for someone else to fix it, nothing will. So ask yourself, where are you contributing to the weakness? Where are you inconsistent? Where are you distracted? Where are you avoiding discipline? Because that's where your work is, not in blaming, in building, because history already proved something. When belief becomes action, strength follows, always. So the question is no longer, why is the Ummah weak? The real question is, what are you doing to stop being part of that weakness? Because the change you're waiting for starts the moment you decide to become different. If this changed your perspective, subscribe, because the next video might change your life.